Hello, boys and girls. My name is Michael SK, and welcome back to Katawa Shoujo. In the last episode, Emmy invited Hisao over for dinner with her and her mother, and all has been going well, or at least I would say so. However, there is some awkwardness. We can see that Emmy is still keeping a lot of her past, kept inside and away from, actual conversation. She's keeping it to herself. And that's probably not a good thing since, Hisao is trying to get closer to Emmy, but Emmy is pushing Hisao away. We cannot seem to get closer to her and figure out more about Emmy's past. So, we are at this crossroad. We can either go after Emmy, who went to the restroom and kind of just, I guess, not talk to Emmy's mother, which I would believe would be the better thing to do here. I think talking to Emmy's mother could give us the opportunity to learn more about Emmy's past, and therefore maybe help us bridge this gap that we cannot, get across, or we can't seem to get across in other methods. So, I've given it some thought. I've not been spoiled in any sort of way. I honestly believe that it would be best to talk to Emmy's mother, and I mean, it could go bad. It could go good. Who knows? I don't. But I think we actually are near the end, so I know that choices are really going to matter here. If they haven't before, they really will now. This is a serious crossroads, in my opinion, and I feel like we can really get some information out of talking with Emmy's mother. Let's give it a try. There's an awkward silence at the table for a while after Emmy dashes off. I can't think of anything to say. Emmy's mother sighs, breaking the silence. Sorry about that, Hisao. I sometimes forget that Emmy's touchy about certain subjects. And I was talking about the wheelchair thing too. Should I go after her? Heavens no! She didn't leave the table to continue the conversation, But if she's troubled, shouldn't someone help her? If it were anyone else, I'd say yes, but my daughter is stubborn as a mule. And if she wants to be alone, it's best to let her be alone. Otherwise, she'll probably say something she'd regret, which would cause you to say something you'd regret. And I would prefer that dinner doesn't end with one or both of you storming out of the house. If that were to happen, I'd be a terrible hostess, wouldn't I? I've already acted as a fool once today. That's okay. I shouldn't have brought up the wheelchair, apparently. Mrs. Ibarazaki frowns, clearly more bothered by Emmy's omission than she'd let on. I wish she wouldn't do that. It just makes me worry more, She does this often? What, running off to the bathroom? No, I can't say she does. Keep injuries from her mother, though? Well, that's a little more common. Every time I catch her lying like that, she assures me that the only reason she didn't tell me is because it wasn't a big deal. If it's any consolation, I'm sure the only reason I knew about it at all was because I saw her every day. This elicits a dry chuckle from across the table. Mrs. Ibarazaki sighs, a little sadly. Still hesitant about getting close to people, huh? I keep hoping that she'll get over that. It's funny, really. She's bounced back so well from the accident in so many ways. I guess some things never really go away. From the looks of it, the whole thing still bothers her, too. She seems to be a little more willing to talk about the accident without Emmy around, though. Hey, I've got a question if it's alright. Oh? What else did Emmy lose in that accident? The nurse said that she gets this way near the anniversary, and she won't talk about it to me. So you thought I'd fill you in, Yes, please, fill us in. This is pretty much, in my opinion, the only way we're going to get any sort of information about Emmy. Yeah, hopefully. Well, there's a problem with that request, Let me guess. You promised Emmy that you wouldn't tell anyone she didn't want to know, and you don't know if she wants me to know. Something like that. I promised Emmy that she'd be the one to tell people the full story. But isn't that important? I mean, it's clearly had a huge effect on her if she's still like this so long after the accident happened. That's true. It did have a long-lasting effect on her. There are a few things that she'll never really get over. I think I missed a probably in there. For a moment, Mrs. Ibarazaki looks incredibly saddened, as if an old wound is bothering her. I suppose there are a few things I'll never really get over either. Another dry chuckle, and with a shake of her head, Emmy's mother banishes the memory. Look, there's something you absolutely must understand about the way Emmy thinks about the accident. What's that? It wasn't a big deal. What? Somehow I managed to keep my mouth from falling open in surprise, but it takes some effort. And that has to be the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. I beg your pardon? Okay, maybe it's not that simple, but it's a pretty accurate summation. Emmy believes that the accident did not define her, and that everything she lost that day didn't define her either. She's not that girl who lost her legs. She's the fastest thing on no legs. Her optimism and energy came out of that wreck without a scratch, as far as she's concerned. Yet it goes beyond that, doesn't it? I mean, last night she told me that she refused to rely on me because it would make losing me too painful. Not really. You said she won't tell you about the accident, even though you've asked her about it before. The reason she won't talk about it when you ask is because to her, it's not something you absolutely need to know. Even if she wasn't terrified of getting too close to anyone, she still wouldn't talk about it. She's afraid of being close to me? Sorry, guys. Just kind of dying a little bit. Oh, goodness me, yes. For all that talk about being unscathed by the accident, she's gained the ugly knowledge of how quickly it can all be over. So she's not going to let people get especially close to her, and she certainly would resent any implication that she cannot work through this on her own. But I don't think she can. Oh no? Are you sure you've been dating my daughter and not somebody else? Trust me, Hisao, she could get through it on her own. But she has nightmares and can't sleep well, and she does this every year. Sorry. Holy fuck, dude. Sorry. I really am sorry, guys. I'm really breaking the mood. Tell me, if she wasn't able to get through it on her own, do you really think she'd still be alive? She would have killed herself or something equally melodramatic. So what, I shouldn't try to help her? I didn't say that. I hate seeing my daughter like this. And knowing that she could rely on someone else would let me relax. You just need to understand that accepting help goes against everything Emmy thinks about herself and the way the world works. If you still want to offer her help, then I guess that's your call. Honestly, I'd like you to, but it'd be silly not to warn you that it's not going to be easy. You just need to be patient with her. She's already closer to you than anyone else she's ever met at Yamaku. Well, it sure doesn't feel like we're very close. Oh shit, dude. She's been listening the whole time. Good. That makes this part easier. Emmy's voice nearly gives me a heart attack. Whoa. Didn't hear you come back, Emmy. How convenient. Wait, were you eavesdropping? Nope. Just happened to come back at the right moment, I guess. Emmy, Hisao was just... Emmy holds up a finger, cutting her mother off. On his way out of the house? Yeah, I know. Oh, fuck. Well, we messed up, boys. Emmy's trembling with anger now, looking vaguely betrayed. Emmy, don't be ridiculous. We were just... You promised. The pain carried in that last word is almost too much for me to bear. The idea that I could hurt her that much is like being kicked in the gut. Emmy's mother looks similarly pained by the thought. And I kept that promise. Just listen. There is no reason to go throwing people out of the house. Emmy's mother seems to be both angry at her daughter's outburst and embarrassed that I'm a witness to it. There's only one real solution to this problem, I think. It's okay. I'll go. Now, really, that seems a little unnecessary. Don't worry about it. Thank you for dinner, Mrs. Ibarozaki, and for the advice. It was my pleasure, Hisao. I'm sorry we didn't get to the dessert. Fuck, I wanted that dessert, whatever it was. That's okay. I have to watch what I eat anyway. Good evening, Emmy, Mrs. Ibarozaki. The formality of our conversation, coupled with the fact that I'm getting ready to leave, seems to snap Emmy out of her anger. No, wait, I'm sorry. I've been so... After last night, I just thought... You don't have to go. I take it back. It's okay. I can't help but smile slightly. She can barely articulate her apology, and I really would like to stay. But I don't think I can right now. I need to think about what her mother said, and about what I'm going to do about us. I don't want to risk accidentally getting Emmy angry again in her current state either. No, I think I'd better leave. You seem pretty shook up, and, well, I'd only wind up trying to help you again. I know you'd prefer I didn't, so I'm gonna leave instead. But, hey, it's not a problem. You don't want a knight on a white charger, right? Just promise me one thing, okay? What? Don't be angry at your mom, okay? She was just giving me some advice, that's all. Emmy nods hesitantly, like this simple idea is all that she can grab onto at this point. She's so terribly off balance, but I can't do anything about it right now. Okay. See you tomorrow, okay? Running in the morning, don't forget. I can see that I've hurt Emmy by deciding to leave, but there's nothing I can do for her as things stand, and I know that she's too stubborn to admit that she wants me to stick around. I watch various emotions cross Emmy's face as she tries to process everything that's just happened. Shortly comes that calm look again, like last night, and that voice that tries so hard to sound careless. Sure, Hisao. See you around. Both of us are unwilling to concede emotion at this point. I'm having a hard time keeping up my facade, so I turn on my heel and walk out the door. I shut it behind me slowly, pausing for a moment as the latch catches, my hand on the doorknob. Did I make the right decision just now? Should I have stayed and tried to work things out? No, I decide. Not in front of her mother like that. In spite of everything, I'd rather keep Emmy's mother insulated from the sort of anger that surfaced last night. Even though she's probably used to it, some protective instinct wants me to keep Emmy's image as a cheerful girl intact. With a start, I realize my hand is still resting on the knob. I take my hand away, put it in my pocket, and head down the slowly darkening street. Wow. I want to say we made the right choice there. We got advice on how we can go about things. Sort of, I think. And I think that was something good for Emmy to see. And it sounds a little weird, like she wasn't supposed to see this this stuff going on, that she wasn't supposed to hear that conversation. But I don't know, maybe I should snap her out of things and maybe have her realize that what she's doing isn't right, or something along those lines, and that she should open up and stop trying to do things on her own. But she doesn't want to get close. She's got to keep on doing the things that she wants to do things the way she's been doing, despite the pain that she's having to go through. Now she's going to realize maybe that's not right. I think that's I don't know. I could be absolutely out of it. Who knows? Who knows? I let out a long breath. The wait until tomorrow morning comes isn't going to be easy. Thought I messed up there. In any case, I have to think on what to say to Emmy. I must apologize, and I must get through to her somehow. On that account, something has been on my mind for most of the way back to my room. The letter of apology from Iwanako. I was so concerned about my new life when I received it that I didn't even bother to really read it. Now that I find myself in a similar position, my curiosity got rekindled. Ah, fuck, god damn it. Okay, yeah, rekindled. What did she want to let me know so badly? If nothing else, reading her thoughts might help me frame mine. I remember tossing it away. Damn, where did I throw that thing? I check under my desk. That turns up nothing, so I look for harder to reach, more unlikely locations. Well, now I know where that lost sock went, at least. Still no letter, though. It's when I try sweeping my arm under my nightstand that I feel something crinkly jam between it and the wall. Grunting a little with the effort, I reach for my prize and soon manage to bring it into light. Bingo. Alright, so we're back into this letter. I thought it was really dumb of Hisao to just throw it away like that. I was really upset by that. I sit at my desk and spread the crumpled paper open. A flick turns on the table light. Skipping past the empty pleasantries, I look for the point where I stopped reading. Ah, here it is. There are other things I want to say. I'm writing to you because I felt that there are things I should have said after the incident back in winter. I really regret that I wasn't able to say them in person, and I have no excuse for it. The truth is, the times when I visited you at the hospital made me worried about you. I'm not talking about your health. You seem to become more distant and disheartened. It was natural after something like that happened, I'm sure, but somehow I got the feeling that you had given up on something back then. Happiness, maybe? Giving up on happiness. This sounds unpleasantly familiar. I wanted to somehow express my feelings, but the right words didn't come to me. I couldn't say anything to comfort you. I am really sorry for not being able to support you when it mattered the most, even though I like you so much. At least now, finally, I can be more honest. If I could go back to those quiet days in February and March, I'd tell you to not give up on yourself. That's what I would say. Maybe you wouldn't have drifted so far away if I had just said something. I hope you've managed to get back on your feet on your own. Now that the distance between us is also physical, it also feels more final somehow. I wonder if we will meet again. Perhaps it's for the best if we don't. Still, if you would like to correspond with me, by all means, write me back. I'd very much like to hear about your new school and how you are doing. I wish you all the best. Sincerely, Iwanako. Wowzers. I really wish we read that earlier on, and Hisao just didn't throw it away in his anger. After finishing reading the letter, I smoothed it out carefully and set it aside on my desk. Thank you, Iwanako. I wanted to answer yes to your question on that snowy winter day, but I never got to. By the time we met again, it was too late. Or so I thought. What would have happened if I had behaved differently back in that dismally sterile hospital room? I'm sorry. There's no point in wondering now, but there's no point in trying to forget either. I am who I am because of all that has happened to me, and I look forward to experience, present, future, and past. And the past may just have taught me an important lesson now. I wonder what that lesson is. I really wonder. Oh shit, what's going on here? Act 4, motion. Alright, boys, time to get a drink of water for this one. Hell yeah. And there's the good old alarm. The sound of my alarm is an unwelcome intrusion on a sleep that's been a battle to obtain. I doubt I've been truly asleep for more than an hour or two. Too much on my mind. Did I make the right choice leaving the house yesterday? Did I manage to get Emmy to realize how unreasonable she's been? Am I ever going to manage to get her to stop being unreasonable? Emmy's mom gave me a new perspective the other day, but I'm still not sure that it's the right perspective. She was hurt when I left yesterday too. I know that part of any conversation is going to have to include an apology about that. Right thing to do or not, I heard her. I hurried down to the track, eager to talk to Emmy. I think I know what to say. Apologize for leaving first, and go ahead from there. Sorry, still dying. The water did not help. Unless, of course, Emmy doesn't show up, which from the looks of things seems like it's the case. It's been about 15 minutes since I got here, and there's no sign of her. She's never been late, not unless she's sick, which is unlikely. She probably just doesn't want to see me right now. So I guess we begin our run. To take my mind off of what that implies, I begin my warm-up routine and take off around the track. It clears my mind wonderfully. For the half hour I'm running, I don't think about anything but the run. However, once I'm finished, and Emmy still hasn't shown up, I get a little worried. With any luck, the nurse will know where she is. If nothing else, I can see what he thinks I should do next. Ah, the good old nurse. So, last night didn't go too well, I take it? Huh? You already know. I have my ways, and it's not as if I'd missed the distinct absence of your running partner this morning now, would I? No, I suppose not. So what happened? Don't you know already? Maybe. But I could be bluffing. Perhaps I prefer to get your side of the story before I give any advice. I quickly fill the nurse in on the events of last night, and he takes it all in without changing expression once. Nothing about the whole event seems to surprise him, although he does seem surprised when I say that I didn't follow Emmy. Chose to talk with her mom instead, huh? Smart move, though I guess it didn't work out too well for you in the end. Well, I'm not sure. Emmy seemed apologetic when I left, or at least she seemed that way until she put up her defenses again. The nurse sighs and spreads his hands in a conciliatory gesture. Frankly, I'm surprised she let them down at all. Emmy's had a lot of practice on that score. You probably won't get anything else out of her. I don't believe you. Is that so? You think she'll tell you the whole tale? I'd swear I just saw the nurse's eyes glitter a little. His expression is the same, but he leans forward ever so slightly. I think she'll open up if I ask her without being an idiot about it, yeah? The nurse gives an enigmatic smile in response and shrugs widely. I think he's enjoying his role a little too much. That's the real trick, isn't it? Are you sure you know the right way to approach the subject? I can guarantee that Emmy's going to try her hardest to pretend last night didn't happen. It will be painfully awkward for the both of you, but it'll also be a lot safer than trying to ask her for the whole story again. It could go worse this time. Are you ready for something like that? It sounds like a challenge. Like, he doesn't believe for a minute that I'd be so bold. I actually feel a little insulted by his lack of confidence in me. Of course I'm ready for that. I love her. My outburst gets a raised eyebrow in response. Well then. God damn it, nurse. Good luck. Let me know how it all turns out. Although he delivers his parting shot with the same smirk as usual, I actually think that the nurse wants me to succeed. I resist the urge to charge directly to Emmy's room to prove the nurse wrong. I've gone in half-cocked before, and the results were less than stellar. If I'm going to do this, I need to figure out exactly what I'm going to say and how I'm going to say it. Something to think about in class. Wait, we still have class? I thought we were on summer break or some shit like that. What were all those exams for? Sure enough, by the time lunch rolls around, I think I have a good enough idea of what to say. I can do this. The bell rings and I grab my lunch and dash up the stairs, eager to be there first. I'll need to ask Rin to leave, but and I'll need to... Hi, Hisao. Sorry I wasn't able to run with you this morning. I overslept. Somehow both Emmy and Rin have managed to get to the roof before me. Oh, that's no problem. Last night was kind of, draining, I guess. Emmy's expression doesn't alter in the slightest. Yeah, sorry about that, but I've had such a weird morning since then. Oh, really? Emmy proceeds to make small talk for the rest of the time. I can barely get a word in edgewise, and soon find myself interjecting with the sort of back and forth dialogue that seems to have defined our early relationship. I'm not going to get anywhere on this problem during lunch, obviously. I can respect that. Emmy obviously doesn't want to accidentally pull Rin into things, and that's fine. Not that I think Rin would notice, but I can at least respect that sort of rationale. I try a different tactic. Hey, Emmy, what are you up to after class today? I was thinking we can go somewhere for dinner or something. Emmy looks genuinely remorseful. Sorry, Hisao. I promised the track captain that I'd stick around after practice and help some of the other kids with their form. It'll have to be some other time. Yeah, sure. Well, that failed. I'm honestly not sure what to do now. Maybe diving into things the day after would be a bad idea anyway. She might still be angry about it and just not showing it. Besides, if she's got track team responsibilities, that's fine, right? I tell myself some variation on this theme the next day, then the next. I wake up, run with Emmy, during which she refuses to talk about anything but the run and what she was doing the night before, and then lunch, where we sit and make small talk until the bell rings. Her new responsibilities effectively keep me from seeing her outside of school. Maybe, just maybe, I'm letting it happen because it's safer this way, just like the nurse said. Except, while it may be safer, I'm feeling more and more wretched. Emmy doesn't look good when I see her anymore. Dark circles lurk under her eyes. She seems more and more distracted, and I can't bring myself to just ask what's wrong, because the timing never seems right. I'm absolutely miserable. Well, fuck. Things are definitely not going okay right now. Man, I really hope I didn't make a mistake or anything like that. I really don't. Or I really don't hope that I made a mistake, I should say. Alright, we're going to actually stop it there. I don't really know how close we are to the end of this. I actually have absolutely no idea. I don't even know if we're on the right path to getting the good ending. Honestly. So, what we're going to do real fast is we're going to go back to the main menu. We're going to go to... Oh, shit, look at that little piece of paper right there. Nice. We're going to go to Extras, Library, Emmy. Scroll all the way down. And I'm going to assume that this is the final act. I believe we're on saving throw. So if we have only a few more sections left, and it seems as if we missed one, so there was something else that could have happened that previous night. Who knows what it could have been. It probably could have jumped us into Act 4 as well, but maybe a different section? I don't know if we're on the good path or on the bad path. I don't know what's going on at this point, but I am assuming that we are almost done. So, if my assumptions are correct, next time will be the last time that we record Emi's route of Katawa Shoujo. Notice how I say Emi's route, and I'll talk about that a different time. I might record more of this. That's basically what I'm getting at, but I'll talk about that another time. Now's not the time. It's time to end the episode. I think next time will be the final episode of Emi's route. We'll have to wait and see how things progress in that episode, but we are pretty much out of time with this one. So we'll leave it at that. See what happens next time. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this episode of Katawa Shoujo, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, all that good shit. I'll see you guys next time.